Okay, good. So thanks, guys. That was a pretty interesting series to watch. So pretty much what we're going to do here, kind of the standard thing. We're going to talk about how you guys kind of were approaching this game today, and what your plans were, whether or not things went as you expected, and talk about that first. We'll reverse the order from the beginning. So Viper, you get to go first this time. So what were your thoughts going into game one, with regards, especially since you've played Setheal in the past?
Well, past experience wasn't much. All I knew is that he likes to forge fast expand. So I made a bunch of early lings. I forgot to get ling speed, so the counterattack really didn't do very much when I wanted it to. But I was going for a heavy road charger viper play, and I didn't tick fast enough, and by the time I got to where I wanted to be, he was already knocking down my door. So that was a series of unfortunate errors on my macro side of things that I just had slip up in game one.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I was pretty surprised. I thought with that initial stalker attack that the game was just gonna end right there. You know, pylon goes down. There's no reinforcements for a while, and somehow the game just drags on. And
Mm.
it was interesting to watch, given that. So, what about from your perspective, Sethiel? Especially with that particular moment, you, I'm sure the mass gateway attack thing was kind of something you had to plan from the beginning. Kind of looked like it
Um,
anyway.
it was kind of just winged together. I was thinking, I could go into a blink timing, or I could try to take a third.
Mm,
And uh, again, on the macro side of things, my end was not very. I was very sloppy as well,
okay.
super sloppy. I could have taken a third if I was going for that third. I could have taken it a lot faster, but he did. I thought I was gonna straight win him just with point micro alone, but he held pretty well. He got enough roaches out, and I just pulled back. I was like, I gotta take a third. I'm floating too much. This he's gonna hold if I keep trying to pressure in like this.
No,
And
yeah.
I just thought late game death ball, and then just try to keep up with my upgrades.
That worked out, I think, pretty well, especially because one thing that happened with that game as it went on is you did the usual upgrade out of one forge thing, and I think when you did the attack though, you didn't have only 3-0, which may have made some difference. I remember in the past something like that happening, although that could have been during an ops game. Everything all blurs together for you at a certain point when you're doing this stuff. But one thing that I did want to ask you about is, what'd you think when you saw the Lings running into your base during that attack? Because like I was looking down there and I'm like, that wall looks pretty solid, and then they run straight through it, and I was like, oh, that's brutal.
That was me. I just started face palming in my mind. I was like, I did not put my zealot. No, the zealot was not doing his job.
It actually ran around the cyber core, so the zealot was doing his job. It just they just found a
Oh,
different entrance.
what?
Oh, you didn't even realize that
Yeah.
happened? Oh, ouch. That actually ended up happening
Oh
again
wow,
later with the wall
that's
at the third
awesome.
base.
Oh
For
man,
again, like it looks like it's solid, but there's like this tiny little spot.
I need to
But
work on that wall.
oh man, yeah, that was an interesting game. It definitely had its kind of little awkward moments. But okay, given all that, you guys both have this kind of crazy game. First one happening, especially with these weird little errors all over the place. So, what were your thoughts going into the second game? Did you want to try and do the same thing again, do it better, or did you have something else in mind? Viper.
Yeah, I did have something else in mind. I kind of wanted to do like a three base push on just lings and maybe a couple banelings to get that initial wall down. But I don't know. I think I missed the pylon somewhere. He hit me with zealots that I did not see coming, and I checked for pylons everywhere, and I didn't see him. I guess he must have ran outside his front base. I'll has to ask you, how'd you get the zealots into my natural? Where did they come from?
It was in the expansion below the far right expansion below your third, your closest third. Yeah,
Okay.
I proxied down there. I was luckily you did not spot it in time. It was a
No, I
really
didn't.
early pylon. Uh, but yeah, I just warped in zealots from there. I was like, okay, do this, and then I got like your bane ball like trying to walk into my base. I was like, I got to take care of that first. I'll just counter. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, that I think there was a pylon there, and then there was a pylon in the exact middle of the map, if I remember correctly. I don't think that happened much more for the rest of the game. Actually, there was a point when I know when you locked them all down, but yeah, that one just kind of, it's just kind of getting you get that cut, and then you're bleeding out. It was basically what it felt like when I was watching it. Just constantly
I would have
stuff running
had
into the base.
centrifugal hooks for faster banelings, but he took out the baneling nest in my natural.
I saw that and I was like,
Ruined it.
oh, that hurts. Oh no.
Yeah, that did. That kind of messed things up a bit. And then my end goal was ultras for that map. I like playing ultra on that map.
Yeah,
Good tech
I
casting.
actually liked how you went for the gold pretty quickly. I remember actually watching. I think it was the O Gaming TV Nation Wars thing that TB was casting today. He was casting with Idra yesterday, and I
Hmm.
remember him saying, or Idra, whatever, like if you're an
Hmm.
Artosis fan, but he did say something along the lines of like getting that early for Zerg is incredibly good.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I liked what I was seeing there. Now, okay, so the games happened. Did you guys have any plans for Polar Night specifically?
Mm, well, for me, if it ended up going to Polar Knight, what I had intended was Mutalisks, because on that map there's a lot of open areas around the sides and the top and things like that. So I probably would have went air, Corruptors, and Mutalisks.
Logical decision. Similar for you, Setheal? Probably.
uh,
Or are you not
I
much
would
into
have
the
trained it.
Phoenixes?
Had I spotted early mutas, yeah, I would transition into Stargate real quick, or either that or Twilight, but get that storm. I was
Okay.
actually, if we had gone polar, I would have tried uh to aim for more uh turtle style
Oh,
acro play.
Mm.
really? Okay. So this is kind of more of a question for my own personal interest, but where do you like to take your third on that map when you do it? Or do you usually go for more of a two-base style? Because I always found that the third on that map is always just some kind of ridiculous proposition, no matter what. Unless
Yeah,
you get that one kind of tucked in the back, but there's those rocks there, so it takes forever to take. So I wanted to hear what you thought about it.
there's two rocks you have to get through. Yeah. For Zerg, I find it's easiest to go for the far one. So like you have like the horizontal section of the map portioned off. There are moments when it becomes advantageous to take the one at the front. Like if you're playing a Terran, and he's doing like a mech play, usually you want to be as extended as possible. So taking the third at the front would usually be better inclined. Although it's hard to make that judgment because usually when you take your third, it's already too early for tech to be decided upon.
I got you. I
So,
got you.
I agree with Viper. It's very situational when it comes to taking that front third or the third to the left. But there's also that back one that's really I wouldn't say it's risky to take. It's if you're trying to go for a fast third, I would not take the one behind you
Mm,
because you would have to break the rocks and it'll delay your third. But yeah, it for Protoss and I assume for all the other races, it's just easier to defend coming. I mean, you do have the choke at the top of the far right third or the far left third. Like
mhm.
just whatever side of the map you're on, and then you have the giant ramp that that their army can just walk down. But I mean, you should have vision, and if you're scouting well and you know where their army is at all times, it's not difficult to defend at all.
cool. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I have tried taking that rear third in the past and kind of got punished pretty hard. Pretty much usually every time I try. So that's kind of cool. I'll try that. I'll try like approaching it from that angle. So to round things out, where can everybody find you? Do you do any streaming, Twitter, stuff like that?
Yeah, actually, I do stream quite often. Usually in the late evenings for those in uh, Pacific Standard Time, or early mornings for those in Europe. Um, I suppose it's kind of 12 to 4 a.m. here on the East Coast where I'm at. Uh, Doing the 2014 Backlog Challenge, a bunch of games that I haven't played yet. You can find me on my stream, which is twitch.tv/ViperMusashi. Also, I have a Twitter you can follow me on. That would be very helpful. That's twitter.com/ViperMusashi. And a few other places. Of course, I mentioned Steam, if you can find me there.
Okay.
You can find me, Setheal, on Twitter, at dminion25, and you could follow me on Twitch, which is Setheal, uh, www.twitch.tv/Setheal, Setheal. Uh, I stream games, StarCraft 2, and whatever I feel like playing at the moment.
All right. Cool
But
stuff. Um. Okay, that pretty much does it for that, I think. Thanks for playing, guys. It was a lot of fun. How'd you? I hope
oh,
everybody in the
absolutely.
chat enjoyed it as well. And I
Yeah,
guess
thanks
we'll
all for watching. Huge shout out to those who are watching. Thanks for tuning in.
indeed,
Yeah, definitely.
and hopefully see you guys next time.
All
You
right.
too, man.